Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Photoshop Magic, and my name is Sophal. And right now, we're going to continue with the hologram effects, part 3 of Jackie Chan. So as you can see in the thumbnail, so we have an empty room right here, a dark room. We have a light source, and also Jackie Chan himself. And I was able to convert Jackie Chan with all the two other images to make a hologram effect. And I think it looks amazing, and it's going to be even more amazing when you're actually able to do your own project by following this step-by-step tutorial. Okay, so it'll make my whole day. If you could follow along and create your own creative project, and if you could follow from the beginning till the end, and you were successful, I would be very happy for you. In the fact that I was able to help you out. Okay, so yeah, so without further ado, we're just gonna get started. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. So this is Photoshop Magic. It focuses on the greater power and of Photoshop for the basic and intermediate level. Okay, so I have the license and attribution below. Everything's in the description below. Okay, even part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, all right, let's continue on. Okay, so we left off of this section right here of just doing the invert of Jackie Chan right here. And now that the outside is inverted instead, what we're going to do is we're going to blur it out. We're going to go to filter, and we're going to go to blur, and we're going to go Gaussian blur. And we're going to click on it, and we want the pixels to be around 3 or so. So if you can make this smaller or zooming out, so it's going to blur the background instead. So we're going to make it around 3 or so. Obviously, when it comes to numbers in Photoshop, you can make it any number that you want, and you're gonna have to experiment depending on the size of your image. Okay, we're gonna click on OK, and now what we want is want to deselect it. Okay, so we did the blur already, so as you can see, it blurred it out. So we're gonna do the Control D to deselect everything. Now we need to turn the eye off of the blur edges layer, and we're gonna turn the eye off for the glow layer, and we're gonna click on it once to select it. So now right above it, there's a fill section. We're gonna click on the drop down arrow. We're gonna drag it down to 0. Okay, so as you can see, Jackie Chan disappears. So, but whatever effects that we're gonna change on him, it's gonna have that same effect. It's just that we won't be able to see him himself. But combined with all these two other ones, it's gonna look really amazing. So now we want to double click on this layer right here to bring up the style tool. It doesn't come up. Try it one more time because sometimes you kind of move the mouse a little bit. You don't want the mouse to be moving. There you go, just like that. Okay. And what we're gonna click on outer glow. We're gonna go to outer glow, and you want to click anywhere in here, not the check mark, and it will automatically put that check mark in there. And you want to, if this color in here, if it's not white, make sure it's white. If you click on it, and you can change it around, change it to the upper left hand corner right here. Click OK, and we're gonna change the blend mode to color dodge. Okay, so if it's not already color dodge, you change it to something else because it will remember the last one that you picked. And because I already did this once, it does remember that that color dodge one. And as you can see, if I move this out a little bit, you can see just a shadow of Jackie Chan right here. Okay, so it looks pretty amazing. And you want to change the opacity to 30 and change the size to 30 pixels. Okay, so opacity 30, and then you want to change the size to 30 also. Okay, and that part is good. So now we want to go to inner glow. Inner glow is the same thing. We're going to click on it once to make sure I have inner glow to him. And you want to change it to color dodge again. On the color, you want it to be white also. And you want to change the opacity to 30. And you want to change the size to like 250 or so. And you want to change it to color dodge again. And we're going to click on OK. There you go. So that has an effect of, the Jackie Chan image right there for that one. So now we're going to turn the eyes on for all three of them. So we're going to go to the second layer, we're going to turn it on. The third layer, we're going to turn it on also. So combined between the three, you can see it looks pretty amazing right now. Now we need to make a scan line, okay? So to make a scan line, we're gonna need to bring out another layer. Okay, so to bring that layer, we have to make sure that the glow layer is still selected. We're gonna click on the plus sign right there to bring up the new layer. And we need to fill it with a 50% gray, okay? To be able to do that, if depending on what Photoshop you're using, if you are using the latest Photoshop like myself, what you're gonna need to do, make sure the layer one is selected, and you're gonna hold the shift button on your keyboard, and you're gonna tap F5 on the upper keyboard, okay? So just to not be confused with the regular F button and the 5, there's a button that is F5 on the upper left hand corner, or the upper center area. Okay, so and depending on what keyboard you have, also it might have a magnifying glass on there. So it's F5 together, not the regular F. Okay, just to make that clear. So we're going to F5, and it's going to bring up the fill layer. Okay, and if it's not already 50% gray, click on the drop down arrow. Make sure you click on 50% gray, and we're going to click OK. Okay, so it's going to fill that area to be 50% gray and not Jackie Chan anymore. The reason why it does that is because this is a top layer and it's blocking everything out basically. So now from there, while it's still selected, we go to filter and we go to filter gallery. And the one that we want is going to be sketch. So you click on the drop down arrow and you want to go to halftone pattern. And from halftone pattern, you're going to make sure the pattern type is line. You can make anything else that you want, but to make the effect that we want it to be a line. And you want the size to be around 1 or so, contrast to be around 40. Okay, obviously you can make any numbers that you want, but feel free to look around and be able to experiment. Okay, so we're gonna click on OK, and there you have it. Okay, so now what we want is we want to go to the channel panel, which is to the right hand side right here, the channel panel, and from here you'll see many of the different patterns that we have here. So go to the bottom of the screen, you'll see this dot right here with the like a marching ant around it. You want to click on it, and once you click on it, you're gonna see that it got selected. Okay, so right here on your screen, it kind of looks like it's pixelated in a way, and it looks like you're looking to this really weird dimensional screen. But yeah, so it means that it's highlighted. So now we're gonna go back to the layer icon, and we can actually left click, hold, and drag this to the trash can now because we no longer need it. Okay, just like that. And if done right, once it's in the trash can, you should be able to see, Jackie Chan glow is still selected, but you still see this selected in the background. And it looks pretty amazing. Now we want to start with the motion blur, so we're gonna come back down. We're gonna click on the motion blur, and you can still see that this still gets selected. And what we're going to do next is we are going to click on the layer mask icon, which is this. Okay, so we have 1 more minute, and this should be the end of it. So we're literally almost done. Okay, so we're gonna click on this small black circle with the rectangle around it to add a layer mask. And as you can see, if done right, it added this layer to Jackie Chan to it. Okay, so you can see this line effect in there. Okay, that looks pretty amazing. So now this next part is super important that we have to do. Okay, to get the desired result that we need is that we need to invert the motion blur layer mask. So which means that we're gonna click on the layer mask of the motion blur and to highlight it, and then so we're gonna click on the motion blur just right there, that section right there, and we're gonna do Control I. Okay, hold the Control button, and we're gonna tap the I, and it's gonna like kind of invert it, and it looks kind of amazing. And now we need to group them all together. Okay, so oh, I totally skipped a part. I am so sorry. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we apply this motion blur. I mean this mask. this layer mask to all of them. So to be able to do that, you need to hold the Alt button down on your keyboard, Alt, and we're gonna left click, hold and drag it up to the next one, and it's gonna copy that line right there. And we're gonna do it to the other one also from the copied one. So we're gonna hold the Alt button down again. We're gonna left click here, hold and drag it up, and just like so, you can see that it got applied to here also. So now that got applied to all three layers. Okay, so we're gonna click on one of these. We're gonna do the Control I again. We're gonna tap the Control and I. It's gonna have the invert effects, just like so. Okay, so now that we've done all that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna group all of them together. Okay, so to do that, we have the first one selected already, the glow one. So to select all of them, all you have to do is hold the Shift button down and tap on the very last one that you want to select. Okay, which is motion blur, and it's going to select everything in between. So as you can see, the first one's still selected and you have everything selected, and there's a shortcut to group them together. Control, hold the Control button down, CTRL G, and now they're grouped together. So make sure the folder is still selected. We're going to make some adjustment to the layer icon, so which means that we're going to click on this half moon shape right here. We're going to right click on it. We're going to click on photo filter. Okay, so we're going to click on photo filter, click on right there, and then we're gonna have to click on this section right here. What it does is this will allow us to make changes to just that group and not the background. Okay, so and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to change our filter color. We're gonna change it to blue to match that blue color, and we're gonna density. We're gonna drag it all the way up to 100%, just like so. All right, and that's it. That we have created a Jackie Chan. So if we were to zoom in, we're going to come out here. We're going to hold the control button down. We're going to tap the plus to zoom in. As you can see, there you go. So you have a hologram of Jackie Chan. That looks super awesome. Okay, so let's save our work. We're going to go to File. We're going to go to Save As. And we are going to save it. So part 3. And we're going to save it. We're going to tap OK. And then we're going to save it one more time. Except this time we're going to save it as a JPEG. Okay, so we can actually import it out. JPEG, just like so. Okay, and there you have it, guys. All right, so again, if you haven't clicked on the like button already, please pause this video, and before it reaches the end and it's automatically autoplay to a different video, totally separate, and you didn't get a chance to click on the like button. So pause the video, go ahead, and it takes about like 2 seconds to just tap on the like button if you don't mind. If you find any value at all in my work, it really does help the channel too. And if you could, feel free to share, subscribe, like, so you don't miss a video. It really does help the channel a lot, and I would really appreciate it. It really does help with the motivation of just continuing on, seeing that people actually like the work. Okay, and as always, I hope you have an amazing day.